Hello, my name is Edgar, and during the following minutes I'm going to be presenting some aspects related to my lesson plan. For this lesson plan, I chose The Gentleman of the Jungle. It is a Kenyan short story written by Jomo Kenyatta. I chose the communicative approach because the communicative objective is to give information in simple past about past events, and my linguistic objective is to use simple past in real context. Regarding the lesson plan, I chose PPP, which means present, practice, and produce. I have an audience of 10 students that are from the Instituto Pedagógico de Caracas and are in the English 1 course. They have an intermediate level, so they don't need to learn about the rules, but they need to practice the use of the language in real context, particularly the simple past tense. Now we are going to be showing the lesson plan chart. So I'm going to be exploring each of the 5 stages. Let's take a look. It is the lesson plan. Let's start with the warm-up activity. The teacher say good morning for letting the students know that the class just began. The teachers ask, do you like short stories? What short stories have you read? It is to activate previous knowledge regarding short stories and make them use simple past in their answers. For example, it is expected they use I read, I liked, I enjoyed, it was, among others. Then the teacher say that the students are going to be working with a short story and write the name of it on the whiteboard. The name is The Gentleman of the Jungle, and asks them to guess what it could be about based on its title. This is for letting them create a possible topic of the short story and activate previous knowledge about animals. Remember that the word jungle is part of the name of the story. So let's see the present stage. The teacher talk about the short story and give context about it. He says the name of the author, the country of publication, what was happening in that country in the year the story was published. Okay, it is to give context about the story, and this will let them guess about the meaning of it or the author's reasons to write the story. Then the teacher tells them they are going to have 10 minutes to read the short story to understand its meaning, focusing on the simple past. This is to show students the different ways to narrate using simple past, which is going to be needed later. And while the students are reading, the teachers write on the whiteboard 10 statements about the short story. It is to save time, and also because their students are going to be working with those statements later. After the students read, the teacher tells them they have 10 more minutes to read again, but taking into consideration the questions he wrote on the whiteboard. This is to make them practice reading comprehension. Okay? Then, in the practice stage, the teacher gives instructions about the next activity. He says that they have 10 minutes to write on their notebooks if the statements on the board are true or false, based on the information they read in the story, taking special care about the simple past. If the sentences are false, the statements are false, they have to rephrase them to make them true. With this, we are going to check reading comprehension and a bit of simple past structures. They are going to be practicing writing, they are going to practice the use of simple past for giving information about past events. Remember that this is one of our aims of the lesson. Then, when the students are ready, the teacher asks to stand up and share their answers with their classmates. This is to motivate the class interaction and practice reading. Then, in the last stage, the producing stage, the teacher tells the students the next activity is about to start. They have 15 minutes to write an email to a friend or a family member, telling how their life was during the 2 years of the pandemic quarantine. But they have to use as much simple past as they can, right? This is to use the simple past to narrate in real context past facts and events. This is another aim of the lesson, to use simple past in real context. Okay, they are going to be practicing writing and produce an interaction between the students. When they, after they wrote, they stand up and read the email to the rest of the class. For the last part of the lesson, which is the closing, the teacher is going to relax. He's going to talk with the students. He asks if they like the story and why. Then he asks what would they change in the short story. This is going to create like an interaction between the students and the teacher. They are going to be practicing speaking, listening, and they are going to be thinking about the story. Make them give their opinions regarding it. Okay? And finally, the teacher asks students to tell what they learned in today's class. This is to check the students' understanding of the class and let the students know that the class is about to end. The lesson plan also includes some details about the audience and their needs and a rationale from the whole class. As you could see, my lesson plan wasn't intended to teach grammar or rules, but only to use the simple past in real context. You have to remember that an email is a real way of communication, so it is a real context. And when we plan, we have to be very detailed with all the activities we design, because maybe another teacher is going to use your lesson plan and he should be able to do it completely, even though if he didn't design it. I don't think I have anything else to say. So if you have any comments, any question, please let me know. Thank you for your attention and have a great day.